We're the largest snacking company in the world.
That everyone in the business is a leader and have a role to play.
So it just naturally made sense that, my career would progress.
And I wish someone had told me when I was in high school that that was an option.
It's all about maintaining relationships and
have such a wide array of academic backgrounds in the CCAS.
A strong network of women here to help you.
Well, hey guys, so today we are joined by Jordan Toft, who is an executive chef for Merivale. Thank you so much for joining us today.
thanks for having me.
So for those who don't know, firstly, who is Merivale and what are you guys all about?
Well, Merivale is a hospitality company that predominantly is in Sydney, but if you've read recent media releases, we're also broadening out into Melbourne and some other areas of Australia as well. The company is a family-run company and started some time ago in the fashion world and has progressed over decades into the hospitality sector and is now a leader across multiple facets in the hospitality area. So somewhere in the vicinity of 80 locations, multiple restaurants of all different level, along with events, bars, and the like. So yeah, we'd like to see ourselves as a market leader across Australia.
Oh, you absolutely are. And that news of coming to Melbourne is very exciting for me as I'm Melbourne based. So can't wait to see what you guys bring there. And actually we've ran an Explore Careers Fair at, I think, the Ivy Ballroom, one of the Merivale venues, and it was amazing. So for the career advisors out there listening, that venue was just absolutely amazing. The food and the service and just the venue itself, you can kind of tell that the founders have come from like a fashion background because just the way that your venues look are just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it says something. We're kind of an all in-house organization, and from the very top, everything the eye is seen, or everything goes over those eyes. We don't just bring in bits and pieces. We really look at guest experience and customer service in a way that involves a holistic approach from design, style, concept, food, beverage, ultimately all revolving around our guest experience is ultimately our what we try and achieve.
Yeah, and just the top quality as well, which you can absolutely tell. And what about yourself, Jordan? What's your story and what's your career journey? So from leaving high school, did you always think that you were going to be a chef? And then how have you been led to where you are today?
Yeah, well, look, I'm one of those stories that cooking has always been a little part of me. I don't come from a predominantly food orientated family. I can't talk about, standing there next to Nonna, watching her cook. But I come from Western Sydney. Food, for some reason, always was inherently something inside me, and I needed to get it out. And going through high school in the mid-90s, which I still can't believe is that long ago. But the path for me was around staying at school after year 10 or finding an apprenticeship. And so I was allowed to find an apprenticeship, and if I did, then I'd move on. And so I left school, found an apprenticeship, and went through the traditional apprenticeship program back in the late 90s. That's where it all kind of began, but food definitely was always a career path that I saw, and I've been fortunate enough over that almost 25 years to see, for my career path to allow me to see not only lots of the world, but move and progress through my career.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say is one of your career highlights so far?
Look, a career highlight, I feel as though I've had multiple steps in that direction. And as I said, I started off as a young apprentice at 16, well, actually 15, but then became 16 years old. I qualified by 19. And I guess where I found my feet was working with a guy called Peter Doyle. Peter Doyle is the founding father of Australian cuisine, and his ability to show technique and to find reason on why to be so passionate about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and accountability really struck a chord with me in my late teens, and really that put me on my career path. You know, that is one marker. I was able to travel because of my career, and that took me around the world to where I spent a decade, 5 years through Europe and then 5 years through America. And then I'd be able to come back and really take my career to a new level back with Merivale after all of those years. So I feel as though there's been multiple steps and progressional points that through my career. And look, I don't think it's over. And I think that's the beauty of it, that I feel as though there's more to come because of that progressional path that this career can allow if you set your mind to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like a lot of students out there are probably could have a part-time job in hospitality, whether they're at school or uni, but it's not just a part-time job. It's a career that can lead you, like yourself, all around the world. So, you know, the possibilities are endless. Now, with the apprenticeship school, I hear Merivale has got a pretty cool program. What's it all about, and why should someone do it through Merivale, their apprenticeship?
Well, look, I think what we've done is we've taken the bull by the horns, and we've decided that to add to the already available progressional path through Merivale, we look for, I would say that, you know, the owner of this business is easily swayed by brilliance. So being able to apply yourself in this job, we like to think that there is that progressional path for people who are, you know, really driven. We give the tools for that person to grow. And so to re-engineer that, we thought, well, why don't we start it at the beginning? So the apprenticeship program was developed to try and start at the genesis of those chefs and to bring it in. So that fully accredited program, we thought, why not take it on ourselves? And to revert back to Peter Doyle, Peter Doyle is actually the teacher of the school, which is an amazing, well, I think is an amazing teacher for anyone who joins that program. Equally, we were able to, like most things, you know, try and condense it down, this accredited program, and condense that program down completely in-house. And equally, as I mentioned before, with the available of executive chefs in this business and the plethora of diversity that we have across our kitchens, we're able to, I guess we're able to put people through the program and then put them in the right place that works for both them and the business, and give them a lot of options.
Yeah, totally. With the amount of restaurants that you guys have, like if you're interested in seafood, I'm sure there's a million different seafood restaurant options to be able to then move on to, and you know,
everything from our, you know, it gives you. You mentioned it before around hospitality can be seen as a part-time or an in-between job. As you can see, both from media and from TV, there's a lot of people that make this career or make this job their career. So yes, it allows the affordability to do those things while you're maybe doing your tertiary education, but it's also an amazing pathway for a full career. And I guess Merivale has the diversity for you to progress at multiple stages through your career.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you looking for in apprentices? You know, what would make someone stand out from the crowd for Merivale?
Look, I'll talk about Merivale, and I'll also take it back to a kitchen from myself. Really, it comes down to an attitude, and it comes down to someone who has the aptitude to apply themselves and see this not just as a little, I'll try it and I'll give it a go. Now, I'll give it a go attitude is a good thing, but equally to see and plan out where this actual career path can take them. And as you said before, not just as a little stopgap, but really, how am I going to apply myself? So whether or not you are 16, 18, 22, I really feel as though it is your attitude and your application to the job at hand that will see you through not only this course, but through this career. And, you know, there's a saying that, you know, whatever it is you do, do it well. That comes from Mr. John, who is no longer with us, but was one of is Justin Hemis's father. And I think really that resonates. You know, if you come into the program, what we're looking for is for you to apply yourself, to utilize those resources that we are going to give you, and the techniques and all of the tools. But really it is that application and drive that we are looking for successful applicants.
Yeah, definitely. And look, chefing isn't easy. Like, you know, there are also hard aspects, like the hours can sometimes be difficult. But by the sounds of things, Merivale really want to take that young person, teach them everything that they need to know, and really hold on to them. Like, they don't probably want to let you guys go. Like, you know, you could become the next executive chef in the next 10 years because Merivale are going to be there for you and support your career through the whole time.
Look, it should be said, things have changed, and the landscape has changed from possibly when I was younger. Yes, it is a job that you really have to apply yourself to, but equally, and the hours, it comes out. You're not a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, most people. It's not, you know, I don't want to say, oh, back in the day, but it's not what it used to be in regards to the expectation of hours. You know, it's much more aligned, but equally there are obligations around you. You are creating experiences for when people want to go out and enjoy themselves. And that seems to be on either side of that 9 to 5 and on the weekend. So there is that expectation around hospitality, but it also becomes a bit of a lifestyle. And it's something that I've lived for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you said, working with Merivale, the idea of this program is that it's a succession plan. It is something where we want to continually look at what's next, what's the new challenge, but teach you the basics so that you can continually take those next steps and not jump to where you stagnate. So
yeah, the
opportunity is endless. And of course, we want to put you through this program, and we want to hold on to you, and we want to see you succeed, and we want to give you every available opportunity to succeed in this space.
Yeah, cool. So what Merivale venues and chefs are involved? Are you involved with it? Will they get to, and what restaurant are you currently at?
So look, I'm executive chef of a few different restaurants, but equally I'm also, I work with Justin on concept design and creative as well. So that's an interesting, you know, how your career can progress over time. That sure, I look at menus and in kitchens and I run teams, but I equally have explored myself into that creative space and working with architects and interior designers and on new concepts, which is really exciting for me and where I'm at in my career. I predominantly look after the Coogee Pavilion and Mimi's, which is a restaurant inside the Coogee Pavilion. It's got 2 hats, and also Una Mas. And then on the Northern Beaches, Bert's, which is another experienced restaurant that has 2 hats as well. Yes, I will be involved, but as I said, the guy who taught me 20 years ago and really changed something in me in my career is the guy who's leading the apprenticeship program and the apprenticeship school. So what better guy to learn those fundamentals from? Yeah. But equally throughout that program, you'll come across people like myself. You'll also, Dan Hong, who runs a lot of our restaurants like Mr. Wong and the Queen Chow's and the Miss G's. Danielle Alvarez, who has Fred's, Mike Eggett, who has the Toddy's brand. So there's multiple other chefs that will be involved in it. And while you're at that school, we want fit for purpose. So we'll take down, what are your interests? What are your beginnings? What type of food do you like? And that person will get experience in the right venue for them and be able to do that. And then after learning some things, be able to diversify and move around the business.
How lucky. I mean, this sounds like the most perfect apprenticeship program for someone who wants to be a chef. Like, it just sounds awesome.
Look, obviously I'm talking from it, but I think if I go back to, I remember my career's day back in year 10, and I remember at that time, I went along and I did the traditional TAFE program, which was fine. And I remember there was other schools involved at that time. There was there was a hotel style school where you would have to pay, I think back then it was somewhere in the vicinity of $10,000 to come out. You know, we're offering this program because we see the value in it, and we see the progression and succession plan that this will give those guys looking for a career in hospitality, and particularly in cooking. And so this is something that we believe in and that we've invested in, and at no cost to that person coming into the business.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you get to learn and get paid for it. Like, how perfect.
If only, yeah, exactly. You know, we see it as a valuable program and piece to really develop our people and move them through the Merivale program.
Yeah, totally. So where can we get more information?
So we just need to jump on to merivale.com/chef-apprenticeship, and all that information is there for everyone to go through the process. Our next intake is in July, so not too far away. We'd love as many people to jump on there and come through the process with us.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be an extremely popular program. I'm sure it would be the most incredible experience. So just lastly, just before I let you go, why is being a chef the coolest job ever? Like, why are all these students out there listening? Why should they become a chef?
Look, you've got to have a passion for food and what it does for people and the experience that they have. Now, if you've got that, being a chef delivers multiple pathways throughout your life and your career, and gives you the opportunity to do what not a lot of other profession does. And that is be around at the best time of people's lives, travel the world, and really give you an opportunity for a longevity in your career. And, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jordan. It was really great to chat.
Thank you so much.